Hi, good morning children. Welcome to Gurukul Vidyalaya online classes. Today for 7th class science subject we are going to discuss chapter 4, that is heat. The name of the chapter is heat. So children, already you have learned in the chapter 3, that is fibers to fabric. In that chapter we learn that woolen clothes are obtained from the animal fibers and cotton clothes are obtained from the plant fibers. So generally we wear that both the woolen clothes and cotton clothes, but when do we prefer the woolen clothes or when do we prefer the cotton clothes? Will we wear in every time, every season, will we wear the cotton and woolen clothes? No. We'll prefer the woolen clothes during winter time. So why? Because during winter it will be very cold, so we'll prefer to wear woolen clothes as it is making our body to be warm. So that's why we'll prefer woolen clothes in the winter season. And about the cotton clothes, during summer time we'll wear the cotton clothes. Why? Because that means we'll prefer to wear light colored cotton clothes in hot summer. Why? Because it makes our body to be cold. That means we will feel coldness when we wear the light colored cotton clothes during hot summer. So why particular types of clothes are preferred for particular seasons, or why particular types of clothes are suitable for a particular type of season? So to understand that, just we have to think about these things. That means in winter we feel cold inside the house, but when we go outside the house into the sun, it makes our body to be hot. That means we will feel hotness. But during summertime, what we can understand, even in our house also it will be hot, and at the same time when we go outside, it will be more hot. We can't go outside during the hot summer. That much hot it will be. So, how do we know whether an object is hot or cold? How do we find out how cold or hot is an object? So, to seek the answers for these questions, we have to listen this lesson carefully. So in this chapter heat, we will learn the answers for these questions, and at the same time we'll get some knowledge about the heat, its devices, and what are the properties for the heat. That things we will learn in this chapter. So first we can discuss now hot and cold. What is meant by hot, what is meant by cold? So in our daily life, we can observe many objects. Number of objects are there around us. We may feel that they will be hot or they will be cold. For example, check in your textbook in the 4.1 table. One table is given in your textbook. In that, we can observe that hot objects and cold objects. For example, ice cream, spoon in a teacup, and fruit juice. And the fourth one is handle of a frying pan. So here four items are given, or four objects are given in this table. Suppose if these items are there in your house, you can test them by touching them whether it is a hot or a cold. So in this table, two columns are given. No? Other than these objects, two more columns are there. The first one is cold or cool, and the second column is warm or hot. So just we have to put a tick mark what the object is there. So obviously already here I have for ice cream it is given. How the ice cream will be? By touching the ice cream we will feel that it will be hot or cold. Yes, it will be cold. And spoon in a teacup. Suppose if your teacup is there, in that if you put a spoon, how it will be? It will be cold or hot? Yes, it will be hot. We are talking here about a teacup. So tea in the cup, it is not a cold because it will be hot. The spoon also be into the inserted into the dipped into the teacup, no? So that's why we'll feel it as a warm. And about fruit juice, generally fruit juice means we'll add some ice in that, no? So that's why it will be cold. So we can put a tick mark in the column cold or cool. So next one is handle of a frying pan. How it will be frying pan? Handle, it may be warm, it won't be that much hot, but it will be warm. So we can feel that the frying pan will be warm. So by observing or by touching these type of objects, we can understand whether an object is a hot or a cold object. So here, but children, we have to take one precaution. That means we do not touch the objects which are too hot. So be careful while handling these type of hot objects. Don't touch too hot objects. Okay. So here we see that some objects are cold while some objects are hot, and some objects will be more colder than the other objects, and some objects will be more hotter than the other objects. So what is the reason for this? How do we decide which object is more hotter and which object is more colder? So by touching only we can understand that one. So to understand this, just one activity we can discuss what is given in our textbook. So here one activity 4.1, in that activity, just listen about that activity. We have to take three big mugs. Mug will be there, no? Big mugs or any tumbler we can take, three tumblers. So we have to label those three tumblers as A, B and C. Tumbler A, tumbler B and tumbler C, or mug A, mug B and mug C. So in A mug we have to fill that with cold water, and B mug is filled with hot water, and C mug is filled with same quantities of cold and hot waters. Okay, so whenever we add like this, just the thing what we have to do is put your left hand in the mug A. We have to put our left hand in the mug A and right hand in the mug B. So after placing both the hands in mug A and mug B for 2 or 3 minutes, after that taking our hands outside and simultaneously put both the hands in the mug C. Now what we will observe? So if you try this at your home, you can understand how do you feel, whether your hand is hot or cold, we can understand that. So when we put both the hands simultaneously in mug C, what our hands tells to us? So our left hand previously we put in the cold water, so that when we put into the mug C, our left hand tells that it is hot. Left hand tells us that the mug C water is hot. And our what does our right hand says to us? Our right hand tells to us that the water in mug C will be cold. The water in the mug C will be cold, as we put the right hand previously in the mug B that is filled with hot water. So why we are feeling like that? Because mug C is containing lukewarm water. That means cold and hot water, mixture of cold and hot water is there. So previously when it is hot, when temperature difference is there, then we can understand, we feel hotness. For left hand we feel hotness, and right hand previously it is in hot water, now it feels as a cold water. Okay children, so here to understand how do we find the temperature here object, how do you find that an object is really hot or cold? So the reliable measure of the hotness of an object is called a temperature. So how we can find both our hands it is hot or cold? So that is due to the temperature. So the definition for temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness is called a temperature. The degree of hotness or coldness is called a temperature. So how can you measure the temperature now? You may know that one. How to measure the temperature? So what is the device used to measure the temperature? So we will say that the device is thermometer. The device used to measure the temperature is thermometer. So how to measure the temperature by using the thermometer? So now we can discuss about that one. How to measure the temperature by using a thermometer? Generally, when we are suffering from a fever, what we will do? We'll go to a doctor, consult a doctor. When we went to the hospital, when we consult a doctor, what is the first thing they will do? They will measure the temperature in our body. So they will use the thermometer. Do you know what is the type of thermometer we use there? The type of thermometer that we use is clinical thermometer. What is that? It is the clinical thermometer. So do you know how the clinical thermometer is? Maybe some of you are having that clinical thermometer in your home. If it is not there, no problem, no need to worry. Check in your textbook once how the clinical thermometer is there. We are observing figure 4.2. It is the clinical thermometer. So I will also show to you one clinical thermometer. See here, what is this? Children, did you observe? It is the clinical thermometer. So it is the clinical thermometer. So what is this? How the thermometer is? So let us discuss about that. So did you observe this one? A clinical thermometer consists of a narrow, long glass tube. Long, narrow glass tube. See, check here. It is a long, narrow glass tube. So one end of this thermometer, what is there? Once observe here. One end of this thermometer, one bulb is there. It is having one bulb. So this bulb contains mercury. This bulb contains mercury. And outside the bulb, we can observe a small shining thread inside it. We can observe the small shining thread. In this bulb, we can observe a small outside the bulb. In the long narrow glass tube, one shining thread which is called as mercury. So children, do you understand? It is the structure of the thermometer. And we can observe some readings now here. So if you see clearly on this, you can observe some readings are marked, some marks are also there. So here the clinical thermometer is having one scale. The scale used in clinical thermometer is Celsius scale. The scale is Celsius scale. It is indicated with degree C. You know, small 0 we will write and C we will write. So we call it a degree C. So whenever the temperature, for example, it is 35 degrees or 37 degrees, 37 degrees C we will write there. So in your textbook you can check that one, how it is. So normally the clinical thermometer reads the temperature from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. So it is the range of that clinical thermometer. Okay children, the range, what is the range of the clinical thermometer? The range of the clinical thermometer's temperature is 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Okay children, now just how to read the thermometer. So how to understand reading the measurement of the thermometer, measuring, how to measure the temperature. To understand this, we can discuss now. So in the clinical thermometer, when we are observing there, some marks are there, no? See, some marks are given here. So these marks, one is big marks are there and small marks are also there. So first thing we have to do is we can observe that one. See here, between two big marks, how many small marks are there, we have to note down. Do you understand children? Between two big marks, how small marks are there, we have to understand. So when we clearly keenly observe that one, we come to know that between the bigger Mars, 5 small Mars will be there. That means the bigger Mars difference between the bigger Mars is 5 marks. That means it is 5 divisions are there. So if one big mark is measured as 1 degree Celsius, what about the smaller marks between them? So to understand that, one small division is equal to 1 by 5. That means 1 by 5 means 0.2 degrees Celsius. So children, do you understand? The marks given in the clinical thermometer, the bigger mark reads that it is 1 degree Celsius, and the smaller divisions between those two bigger marks is each one is having 0.2 degrees Celsius. So when one small mark is having 0.2 degrees Celsius, when it completes one bigger mark, it will be 1 degree Celsius. So like that, the readings will be there in the clinical thermometer. So how to measure the temperature of our body now? So before going to measure the body temperature, just taking the thermometer, we have to clean it, or we have to wash it in the antiseptic solution. Where we have to wash? In the antiseptic solution we have to wash the clinical thermometer. So after washing, just hold it firmly we have to hold, and give it a few jerks. We have to give few jerks like this. Why to give the few jerks like this? Why to give jerk to the thermometer? Why? Because the mercury line shining thread will be there in the thermometer. It may be at some reading, it may be due to the room temperature. So whenever we have to check our body temperature, by giving the jerks to the thermometer, the level of the mercury will be settled down to the bulb. So all the mercury will be into the bulb. Okay children, do you understand? So that's why we have to give the jerks to the thermometer. So now we have to ensure that the mercury line falls below 35 degrees Celsius. So when the mercury line we are observing here, when it is below 35 degrees Celsius, then we can use the thermometer to check our body temperature. So how to do this one? How to check our body temperature? Just we have to take this thermometer. Bulb is there, no? Bulb of the thermometer should be placed under our tongue. We have to place this under our tongue, right? Like this, under our... Okay children, do you understand? We have to place the bulb of a thermometer under our tongue. For a minute we have to keep like that. After 1 minute, if you check that one, we can observe the reading in the thermometer. So just after keeping under our tongue, slowly we can observe that the mercury thread, shining mercury thread, will increase like that. In this you can observe that, see in this from here the mercury level, when the temperature is increasing, the thermometer, shining thermometer mercury level will be rise like this. So if you check this one now, I did not put it for a 1 minute, but even though we can check that its temperature. So see, it is nearly it crosses 35 degrees Celsius. Do you understand children? It crosses 35. So if I keep for 1 minute like that, I can understand how much temperature is there for my body. What is my body temperature, I can understood. So children, you can test like this. If a thermometer is there with you, you can do this one at your home by checking that just if it is 38 degrees or 39. So 39 degrees Celsius, we can note down our temperature reading. Okay children, so one more thing we have to understand here, that is the normal temperature of human body. The normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. You understand, children? The normal temperature for human body is 37 degrees Celsius. So how we got this one 37 degrees Celsius? So what you can do, just after checking your body temperature, you have to measure your family members body temperature. Maybe you are living, 3 members are there in your house, or 4 or 5 or 6 members. So how many persons are there in your house? To everyone you have to check this body's temperature and record in this table given 4.2. So just in the format 4.2, their name and their temperature you can note down. So by writing these record the temperatures of everyone in your home, we can understand how the body temperature will be there. But with anyone is not having a fever, or the temperature will not be more. So will we get everyone body temperature as 37 degrees Celsius? Will we get everyone's body temperature as 37 degrees Celsius? No, we may not get 37 degrees Celsius. But how can we say that a normal body temperature is having 37 degrees Celsius? So that means that the normal temperature, how we got the 37 degrees Celsius is, the normal temperature is the average body temperature of a large number of healthy persons. You understand, children? The normal temperature means it is the average body temperature of large number of healthy persons. You understand? If you take a large number of healthy persons, if you do the average to them, so one may got 35 degrees, one may got 36, one person is having 38, one is having 42, so one is having 41. So whenever these different temperatures are there, if you add all those temperatures and by dividing with the number of persons are there, how many number of temperatures we are taken, with that number if you divide, we will get the average. So like that, a large number of persons, healthy persons, their body temperatures average is a 37 degrees Celsius. So that's why we call it as a normal body, human body temperature. Normal temperature of a human body. So one more thing here, the clinical thermometer is designed to measure the temperature of human body only. So this type of clinical thermometer is used to measure human body temperature only. Okay, so the temperature of normal human body normally does not go below 35 degrees Celsius, and it does not go above 42 degrees Celsius. You understand, children? The temperature of human body does not go below 35 degrees and it does not go above 42 degrees Celsius. So that's why, that is the reason why the clinical thermometer is having the range 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Okay, children. So this is about the clinical thermometer. So here some cautions also we have to take while using the clinical thermometer. So in your textbook one box is given there, no? Do not use the clinical thermometer for measuring a temperature of any object other than the human body. Suppose if you want to measure the water, how much temperature is there, your hot water, we should not use this clinical thermometer, we should not place this clinical thermometer in the hot water. So this is used only for the to measure the human body temperature only. So also avoid keeping the, we have to avoid keeping the thermometer in the sun or near the flame. We should not keep near to the flame or in the sunlight. So these type of precautions, if you keep like the, what will happen, it is a glassware, no, glass narrow tube, no, so due to more heat it may break down, it may break out. So due to that reason we should not place near to the flame or in the sun. Okay, and we should not measure more hot objects also. We have to measure the temperature of only human body only. Okay, children. So this is about clinical thermometer. And some other thermometers also say some different types of thermometers. What are they? Do you know, in a laboratory some people will use, we call it as a laboratory thermometer, and weather report we will get, no, the maximum and minimum temperatures of the previous day. In the weather report we will get previous day it is having the maximum temperature, this one, and the minimum this reading. So like that we'll get, no. So that temperature, that thermometer is maximum minimum thermometer. The name of that device is maximum minimum thermometer. So that is one of the different thermometer to measure the weather, how much temperature is there in our surrounding. Okay, so this is clinical thermometer, this is one of the thermometer. And here in we have to take some precautions while reading a clinical thermometer also. So this thermometer should be washed before and after use. So in your page number 37 you can observe that one, you can check that one. One of the precaution we have to wash it before and after the use in the antiseptic solution, and ensure that before using the mercury level is below 35 degrees Celsius. So before using that one we have to ensure that it is having below 35 degrees Celsius, and read the thermometer keeping the level of mercury along a line of shining. So just we have to keep like this only, by keeping one level like that only we have to measure that one. So after taking from removing from our under our tongue, we should not touch the bulb, that one. So what will happen? So the some changes may be occurred there. So the thermometer may be changed. So we have to handle with care also. And if it hits against some hard objects, it can break. So previously what we discussed, we should not put in the sun, keep the thermometer in the sunlight and are near to the flame. So by taking these precautions, we have to measure the temperature of a human body by using the clinical thermometer. Okay children, do you understand about it? And now, and one more type of thermometer we have discussed now, that is laboratory thermometer. So about this laboratory thermometer we can discuss in the next class, in the next video. As a part 2 video we can discuss that laboratory thermometer, and one more thing about the clinical thermometer also. And about this clinical thermometer, one thing is there, you can check this one in a figure 4.6. You will observe in the near the bulb, see here what we will observe there, one kink is there near the bulb, one mark, it is one curve is there, no. So you may observe clearly here, see, check this, one kink is there. So it is used to prevent the mercury level from falling on its own. So generally what we'll do, by taking the thermometer, putting under our tongue, by after removing outside, we are checking the reading of our temperature. We can measure the temperature. So if the kink is not there in near to the bulb of the thermometer, what may happen? So while taking outside, very fast it will fall down. The mercury level will fall down to the bulb. Okay, do you understand children? So very fast it will come down. So we have to check now how much reading it is there. So if the kink is there like that, it helps us not to fall the mercury level down. So it takes some time to go back. So that's why the kink is used there. So when the kink is there in the thermometer, when we are checking the reading, it may go slowly. So meanwhile we can check the reading now. So that's why this kink is used in the thermometer. So and nowadays in hospitals, doctors or nurses, what they are doing, they are not using this clinical thermometer, they are using some digital thermometers also there nowadays, digital thermometer. So it will be, see in your textbook page number 40, one picture is there now. These days digital thermometers are available which do not use mercury in that. So just we can observe the reading, one digital reading will be there on the screen. So by that screen, by seeing that reading, we can understand how much temperature is there to our body. So these are the thermometers used nowadays. Okay, children. So you got some knowledge about thermometers. So now in the next class, we can discuss about the laboratory thermometer and transfer of heat, how the heat is transferring, and some more topics are there in this chapter about radiation. So all these things, conduction and convection. So these things we can discuss in the next video. So until this phase, whatever topic we have completed, children, all of you read your textbook carefully and note down the important points in your rough book or any homework, and keep those points in your mind. So be thorough with this textbook, read carefully, and I hope all are doing well, and everyone is watching the video and doing the homeworks given by the teachers. Okay, follow the rules or follow the instructions given by the teachers. Okay, be safe, stay at home. Thank you.